All right, so this is basically what the College of Physicians and Surgeons are saying, right? And this is exactly what they're saying, right? So I just, you just, made this argument again to highlight the absurdity. So you can see the wording in the book. We'll check out the book in a bit, and then you can see the actual wording in the previous videos. That would be the dismissal of the complaint and the affirmation of the dismissal. So you can check that out. So this is what the college is essentially saying here. This is the regulatory body charged with the oversight of the doctors in Nova Scotia here. So skillful deception is now equivalent to innocence. If no one realizes they've been misled, there's nothing to investigate. So what happened was that Dr. Dow successfully deceived the woman into believing that these drugs, they prevent pregnancy. So birth control pills do not prevent pregnancy. The ovulation is not 100% suppressed. The conception um, is successful, and the pregnancy, the baby boy or baby girl, the embryo is viable, right? So, and unfortunately will be killed at the later stage, approximately 6 to 8 or 9 days after the conception. The baby will die. And that is the whole point. So if the victim of deception remains unaware, we must assume no injustice occurred. Case closed. So that's what Gus Grant or Doug Loy is saying, right? This is what they're saying, right? It's absurd. So Dr. Dow did such a good job misleading her patients that we have no choice but to reward her by dismissing the case. We will reward her by, she did such a good job violating medical ethics, right? She did that successfully. This is literally her job, right? And we will now reward her by dismissing the case against her, right? And that's exactly what happened, right? They did dismiss the case, and the affirmation of dismissal by the independent review committee did, exactly what they were supposed to do, right? Those two affirm the dismissal, rubber stamp the dismissal. They're not investigating. Why? Because the reason why is because she, deceived her patients, and we already, established that there's been this deception, right? So let's continue. If Dr. Now successfully deceives a patient and she does not complain, then that gives us grounds to not investigate. Right? That's exactly what they're saying, right? The success of Dr. Dow's deception is proof that she did nothing wrong. If no one notices, it doesn't count. Even though we're talking about this very thing, and we know that there's been exactly, the loss. So this is a material, loss. This is a baby that did not have the chance of life. Right? The baby was certainly the humanity was there. So Dr. Dow's deception was so effective that the victim didn't realize she was harmed. Therefore, no harm was done. So we can dismiss the complaint. Again, this is just nonsense, nutty foolishness. This is what they're saying. This is exactly what they're saying. Deception isn't misconduct unless the deceived party figures it out, right? So me as the father of the child, I cannot complain. I cannot complain because the deceived party didn't figure it out, right? And there's no complaint, even though I'm telling them exactly what the thing is. They will use. This is exactly what they're saying here. A perfectly executed crime is not a crime at all. That's exactly what they're saying. So an absurd. Obstruction of justice, if you want to call it that, a travesty, whatever you want to call it, but it is certainly not a regulatory oversight. To call it that would be an insult to regulatory oversights. This is just, some, some club. I don't know what you even call this thing. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Just to the absurdity of this argument here, and the argument, of course, we're analyzing this and just looking at it, the argument in a few different points of view, but this is essentially what they're saying. A perfectly executed crime is not a crime at all, so they will not even try to investigate because the deception was successful, right? And that is the reason that they didn't investigate, right? But whatever. I mean, they found themselves to be dishonorable, so, and that's certainly a very, very important fact of this video.